I guess just a quick video to make sure that all of you guys are on the same page. And one of the things that I really want to point out on this video is the most of you guys who are writing content for us, like for the first time or maybe ongoing, is the fact that I think each and every assignment that we send to you guys, we make sure that we provide you with a template that you can follow. And one of the things that we make sure that we include in that template is to make sure that at least you have the content layout that we tend to like as part of a standard of writing each and every particular category that you're writing for. So if you're into pets or home and garden or whichever niche market you are on, we have provided writing templates for that. And the main reason why we provide writing templates is that we want to make sure that each and every piece of content that you write is a standard. The biggest problem is most of you guys, when you're writing piece of content, you are doing your research not to the standard that we want. The focus here is the topical research. And topical research looks at each and every subsection of the template that you've been given. So, for example, if it's about, let's say it's terrier temperament, we want to make sure that when you are writing that particular subsection of the template, you have to make sure that you do a proper research, and it involves typing some of the questions related to terrier temperament, whether they are good dogs or if they bark a lot, and maybe if they are affection at all. Those are some of the things that I think our readers might be interested. And if you look at here, Google is doing a good job at displaying some of the popularly asked questions for people who are interested in owning a Staffordshire Terrier as a dog, a pet dog of choice. So those are some of the things that you really have to think about and look into and see how best you can take those pieces of information and include them in your subsection where you're writing about dog temperament. The second thing why you have to do a thorough research is to make sure that at least you're confirming all the biases that are in line with the information you already have. Most of the topics that we ask you guys to write piece of content, there are sections where you already know a bit of information about that particular niche. But with that kind of information on hand, we also understand the fact that there is some sort of like bias on what you know and what you tend to discuss at length. So when you're writing a piece of content, you might be sort of like leaning towards one way and not the other. But when you sort of like take the approach that we teach in this particular methods, where you're searching each and every subsection step by step and writing a summary of what you have gathered together, it means you reduce the risk of being biased towards one angle of the piece of content that you're writing. And the other thing that why I want you guys, when you're writing piece of content, to make sure that you focus on is the fact that you have to make sure that when you're writing piece of content, you are establishing, authority in your niche market by making sure that the facts that you include in your post they are relevant pieces of content that most of your readers are actually looking for. The key here is making sure that at least when you search for each and every subsection of your templated piece of content that you're writing, you have to make sure that you know you're looking at what other people who have already written about the subject matter that you're targeting have said and what they have not said, because that's where I think you can actually shine. Because if there are some things that they're not mentioning in a piece of content that they're writing, obviously there are some areas where now you can go in and sort of like dwell into those areas and stand out in a very crowded marketplace. That's one of the things that you really have to think about when you're doing. The other thing is to make sure that you are sort of like covering each and every basic piece of information that you need to cover, so so your market research sort of like reflects exactly what they are expecting. That's the one thing that I really wanted to make sure that in this first video I communicate to you guys, that when we give you a keyword, we know exactly what we are expecting to get back from each and every piece of content. And it's disappointing that some of you guys, even with a template, you're writing not really as helpful information as we would want it to be. So what we want to make sure is you guys, you are on top of your game, and you are actually following the template. So it involves picking the subsection. If it's about temperament or nutrition or historical data about a dog breed or whatever it is, you take that subsection and you search it on Google and you find exactly questions related to your keyword, your subsection or keyword that people are actually asking. They could be asking as simple as, are, terrier dogs aggressive? Which means that's one of the questions you can easily include on dog temperament. All right. So make sure when you're doing your research, you understand that the template is there to guide you. So you have to follow and do it step by step. Search historical data about the dog breed, search about, temperamental issues, search about the diet, search about all the other bits and pieces that you have on your template that we have asked you to research and write a summary about. All right? Cheers, guys.